even before the 1960s revolution. He used to experiment in his prayer sessions, you could say, to see what drug actually worked best in getting that mind into that spiritual state. And I know about this personally because I used to take drugs when I was in the music industry, and I used to take ecstasy every now and then. And drugs like this, they bring you into a state where you do feel at this higher spiritual plane. And especially when you start hearing this music playing, especially if you play the right type of music, you can trigger this reaction where you start going in this really spaced out mode where you feel almost like you're a god. And it was because of a lot of these drugs, I believe, that I allowed a lot of spirits to come into my life, which led to me trying to get rid of them, which I could only be done because of the power of Jesus. Harry Hay goes on to say, "To 2/3 of the world today, music is a language, a method of communicating, organizing, educating, mobilizing." You see, Harry Hay was, after Aleister Crowley died, Harry Hay was a gentleman who actually continued the work of Aleister Crowley, and he saw himself as the child, you could say, of Aleister Crowley to continue the work. And Harry Hay knew the power of music. And this gentleman wasn't a little figure either, because he actually was the guy who actually founded the entire homosexual movement, and he actually basically made it gay popular, you could say, in America. He goes on to say, "This language, music, had the power to communicate ideas, plans, and issues through the form of songs and dances under the noses of authorities as a weapon. Music always has had the power to inspire revolt and revolution." So with these men, with their doctrine on board and their plans in their mind, what was the weapon they used to initiate all their plans? From their own words, it was music. They knew the power of music. And it was Aleister Crowley that began bringing all the drugs into America and telling the right people in the occult what drugs to get, how to get it involved in the music, and how to bring these kids into a spiritual plane. And that's what happened. When the 60s revolution started up, they started smoking marijuana, and they were going, "Wow, this is so peaceful, man." And yeah, they just became these new, loving, green tree loving kind of people. Yeah, so that was the results from the 1960s movement. There was a massive peace movement, and all the protesters of that time went out and stopped wars even, like the Vietnam War. It was because of the protests in America that all those wars stopped and that America pulled out. So music is a powerful thing. But we'll slowly start bringing this together now to form the final picture. Kenneth Anger, co-founder of the Church of Satan, said, "Christianity has had its day. Crowley said it would be replaced by the Aeon of Horus, who is the crowned and conquering child." Okay, let's say this in English. Basically, the Aeon of Horus is basically in their mindset, when Lucifer sets up his reign on earth as king. So is this giving you a bit of an idea why these guys thought music was such a powerful thing, and how they mobilized music for their purposes? And you can see the results of it now. They wanted to end the family unit because they knew the family unit carried the knowledge of God down. And what has the music industry of today done? It's turned the children against the parents. So we can see a lot of these things that he planned that have occurred now. So it makes you think, how close could we really be to God's coming? We must be nearly at the door. Robert Anton Wilson goes on to say, "It is this synthesis of Eastern and Western occult traditions with modern scientific methods that is probably Crowley's major achievement. Now, there's something amazing in this quote here, because we were talking about how the yoga and stuff like that came into culture and that influenced, but that's not the main thing. Tell me, what religion out there is a mixture of Eastern, Western occult traditions and mixes it with scientific methods? Scientology. Aleister Crowley, it's amazing because L. Ron Hubbard, the guy who founded Scientology, he was actually a really big fan of Aleister Crowley, and he actually saw himself when Aleister Crowley died as being almost the reincarnation of Aleister Crowley. And I've had to, through my Bible studies, read Scientology books because we were studying with people in regards to that. And what I found out is that there are so much Aleister Crowley teachings hidden within the depths of Scientology. And as you work your way up in Scientology, you slowly get closer to the truth of it. And I've obtained some of these documents from the OT8, which is some of their highest levels, and it is virtually Aleister Crowley's doctrine. And Scientology is just a hidden form of the occult, really. And the amazing thing is, who are the key people that join Scientology? Yes, stars. Rock stars, music stars, actors, all those people of the entertainment industry. Are you seeing how 2 and 2 is equaling 4? And as you can see, from everything that's happened from Aleister Crowley and the music industry and stuff like that, going from this peace-loving group of hippies running around trying to stop wars in the 60s, now what do we have? We have aggressive youth that have risen up, that train themselves how to kill with computer games, that are constantly fed by occult themes in movies, in games, and the music stars of today are all singing about violence, sex, immorality, you name it. There is nothing sacred anymore. So that's the problem with this music industry and everything behind it. A lot of times, Satan always appears as an angel of light first. And it's not until he's developed his fruits that you begin to see that angel of darkness. And Matthew 24 tells us that he will come in the last days as an angel of light. And I think it's Matthew 24, or it might be Revelation. But yeah, the scriptures tell us that. Aleister Crowley said that there would be a bloody revolution to usher in the new age of Antichrist. Just like the 60s revolution was a peaceful one, Satan has evolved his entire movement, and now you see all these youth. Here's a picture of a few of them at a concert. They're all ready. You play the right music and these kids will do whatever you say. There was actually a concert by Linkin, I think it was Linkin Park in America, and their song was called Firestarter. And when they were on the stage, they began singing this Firestarter song. And then they started telling the crowds, burn everything, burn, start fires. And they started yelling like this. And there was revolts. All they had to do was point. And then all the children there started burning down the stages. They started getting Molotov cocktails, making them somehow. They must have had petrol on them or something. But they started throwing them over the fences, burning down stages, rioting against the police. And it was just from this one song. And just because they gave the command to go. And there's a scriptural principle in that's going to happen in the last days, which can be found in Daniel, which we're going to look at next time.